Hey, I'm Krista. Welcome to my channel. Today's reading will be a little bit different today because what I feel led to talk about today came through while I was journaling this morning. And randomly today, I was journaling about this idea of fear and religion and how growing up, I grew up Catholic, and a lot of the times in that religion, there were so many things that they taught us to be afraid of. When I was little, I remember always being afraid of God because the nuns at my church constantly talked about this idea of obeying God, and if you didn't obey God, then you would be, sent to eternal fire, which is pretty terrifying as a little kid to hear. And then that made me think of this statue. Now, this I affectionately call my creepy Jesus statue. And this statue was something that was in my grandfather's house when I was a little kid, and it used to scare the crap out of me. And it was something that he had right above his sink, and it was just always there. And my grandfather passed away in the 90s, and this statue just kind of sat in the house by the sink for 30 some years because his house stayed in the family, and it sort of became like storage, and people had already gone over and taken the heirlooms and stuff. But nobody took Jesus here. Poor Jesus. They just left him in the kitchen. And when I was at my grandfather's house a couple years ago, I saw the statue still sitting there. And even though as an adult it still freaked me out a little, I was like, you know what? I'm taking this home because this was something that my grandfather looked at every single day. Like, this was something that was important to him, and it shouldn't just be sitting here. And the funny thing was that I have this statue sitting next to me when I do readings, kind of like overlooking the reading. And over time, I started to like having this statue there. Like, it didn't creep me out anymore. And I felt like more connected to Jesus having it in my presence because it made me think about Jesus. And I also realized that this is a Sacred Heart icon of Jesus. And when I brought this back into my home, I didn't know it at the time, but I was starting to go through this heart chakra opening and learning how to allow to receive, how to step over these walls that I had built around my heart because of hurt and suffering in my life. And if you're still here, thank you. And you're probably like, why are you telling me all this? Why do I care? Well, Spirit was showing me this story today to reflect it back to you because it's almost like something is coming into your life or coming back around, and they don't want fear to stop you. They don't want you to have fear over the situation. Just like I was afraid of this Jesus icon for so many years. And now I know that it was always meant to be here. It was always meant to be a part of my practice, just like Jesus was always meant to be a part of my practice, and how for a long time I may have pushed that aside because of my Catholic upbringing and feeling like I may be doing something wrong. Like, who am I to speak about Jesus kind of feeling, like this fear on speaking up. Who am I to have any authority speaking in this space? All those things, like the imposter syndrome and the Catholic upbringing and stuff, may have hindered me from being authentic with the things that I felt or the things that I was experiencing in my spiritual life. And I feel that there is something that also lies within you, some form of your own authenticity that wants to come out now. That Spirit is leading you to be 100% yourself. And in my journal, I wrote that when I found this statue, it felt like my heart was coming back online. And that timing for you may be that there is something that makes you feel like your heart is coming back online. Like something is fueling your passion, your excitement, your joy. And I feel your guide saying, don't be afraid to embrace this. Don't be afraid of this change. That this was always meant to be. Like, it was always meant to come back around and come back into your life. And when I was sitting with this message, I pulled this card. It says, New Vintage, Be Open-Minded, which I thought was so funny as Spirit because the statue is vintage, but it's new to me. And the guidebook says, To truly drink from the cup of life is to understand that to stay open to new ideas, new perspectives, and other ways of being keeps you young in body, mind, and soul. Right now, it is important to stay inquisitive, curious, and eager to learn, and to greet each new day afresh, with no expectations of how it will be, but rather what it could be. Jesus used the parable of new wine needing to be put into new skins, since older skins would fail to hold the liquid. This liquid, though, is our ever evolving consciousness and spirit. We are warned not to become stuck or rigid in what we think possible or how we expect the world to be. Being flexible to new ideas is a characteristic that can affect young and old alike. Here we see in this card the wine cellar, who, although an elder, is alive with youth and vigor, her eyes full of wisdom, experience, and desire to find out more. You are reminded to never lose your love for life, your ability to serve, and your desire to see beyond what you already know. And then further down it says, you also are held by the ancient ones as you peel back layers of previous understanding to find deeper truths, new teachings, and fresh ways of understanding your life. Leave no stone unturned as you enjoy browsing libraries of new information and be interested in the questions that are provoked and the areas that are challenged. You are ready for the next level of teaching, and much of this comes with walking the path. Christ consciousness living will take you to places and people that will test you to see whether you can stay in your heart. And I feel that you too may be going through your own heart chakra opening or have already went through it. And with that, you're allowing new experiences into your life. Like you're opening yourself up to new things, new possibilities, new relationships, new projects, new people, things that you may not have considered before, things that you might have been afraid to go down or felt unrealistic, or like whatever boundary you had up for yourself. And just like this card talks about, the old skins couldn't hold the wine, it's like your heart couldn't hold the passion, it couldn't hold the excitement because it's like there wasn't room. It's like trying to shove a bunch of boxes into a closet that's already full. All that hurt and all that heartache was packed away into boxes and you shut the door on it, and there was no room for anything else to grow. And that was comfortable. Like there was no reason to go through any of those boxes. And then I'm hearing there was a shift. And maybe that was your spiritual awakening, or like something happened and it made you open that closet door and like go through those boxes and revisit everything and clear out all that clutter, like all that emotional clutter. And because we just went through the year of the snake, maybe like that's what you spent all of last year doing. Clearing out those wounds and emotional clutter. And also this card talking about new teachings and learning new things makes me wonder if you also had an experience of being brought up in a religion where you learned the wrong things, or ideologies that made you feel guilty or shame, or things that just felt untrue to you, like felt untrue to your spirit. And I want to make sure I word that in a way not to say like this is what you should believe, because I feel that that is for you to know. Like you are a unique individual and we all have our own ways of communicating with God, and you will know what is right for you. And that you may be finding these new things, or finding a community, or finding your own way of practicing spirituality for yourself. And I feel that cultivating that relationship with spirit is growing your heart space. That's part of this heart chakra opening. That's making you a larger vessel. And it's a larger vessel of light. You're holding more light. You're allowing it to expand. It's kind of like with this oil lamp here, how you turn it and the flame gets bigger. And I feel like that's what you've been doing. Like your flame, your inner light has been getting bigger with these experiences and these things that you've uncovered about yourself, that you're finding your soul and your own authenticity. And now that you're here, and now that you've gotten to this point, Spirit is saying, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to fully step into yourself. Don't be afraid to take the next step. Wholeness. It says wholeness comes from embracing all of our parts, integrating the light and the dark. We are each a unique, perfect harmony. When we cast aside parts we don't like, we play out of tune. Restoring our wholeness is about finding the light within each of us, nurturing it and giving it space to grow. It's about going into our shadow and carefully bringing those exiled parts back into our conscious being. When we're able to do this, our lives play a beautiful melody. True wholeness can never be found in seeking it from others, it must come from within. And that's what Spirit is saying when they say, like, you found your full authentic self, like you found all of yourself, your whole self. And I'm hearing for some that fear could have been in going to those more shadowy parts of yourself. It kind of reminds me of the book The Heart of Darkness. That the fear could have been from embracing those shadowy parts of yourself when you wanted to push them away. When it was easier to just pretend that they didn't exist and you just didn't have to deal with it. And in my mind's eye, I'm like seeing somebody going to a therapist and talking through all these things, shining light on all these things, and integrating it back into yourself. And I'm hearing that in doing that and going through this healing, you're going to be able to help others. And I'm also seeing like doors opening. Like if you're not in a path of helping others or showing others, if it's that it's also just specifically for you, that this process has allowed more opportunities for you. That Spirit will be bringing you more opportunities. I'm hearing the word advancements. And it's weird, they're showing it to me like a video game, like you pass this level and now you get to see what's behind door number 2 kind of thing. What's behind the next door. Release. And on the bottom of the deck is the journey. There's that door I was talking about. It says release the old so that the new can enter. And that's Spirit confirming for me about it's like you went through your closet and you made space. And this is your light expanding. It's like you made space energetically and your light expanded, and now all these little balls are like opportunities coming to you that weren't there before. And it's leading you to this next journey. And I feel like Spirit is saying, like, don't be afraid to open the door. And I'm also hearing you're worthy of opening the door. That may have been something that you've been working on. That maybe there were things in your life that you didn't feel worthy of. Opportunities you didn't feel worthy of. Like, oh, someone else is going to get it. It's not going to be me. And Spirit is saying, now that you can see your whole self, that you're in touch with that light inside of you, that you can feel how worthy you are. You can feel your worthiness. And I'm hearing that you can feel God's light in you. Like you can feel the breath of life inside of you now. And it's like setting your soul on fire. And I can't help but notice that every single one of these cards has this like shining, beaming light. And I know that that is you. That you are this shining beam of light and it's going to draw more attention. And Spirit is saying, don't be afraid of that attention. Don't be afraid of these like new people coming into your life. Like use discretion, of course, but it's like you're drawing in these new energies and these new people to you. It's going to be different. It's going to feel different. Having these other frequencies around you, these newer, like having other open-hearted people around you. And I'm hearing that it might freak you out a little. Just like going back to this Jesus statue, like how it scared me. It's like these new energies coming into you might freak you out a little because you're waiting for them to like want something in return. Like you're just not used to this open-hearted, loving energy. And you're kind of like, okay, well, what's the catch? What do you want? Because like that's what your past experience has been. And that's why I feel like Spirit was saying, be open-minded. Like back to this card, be open-minded about these new experiences and these people coming into your life. Like don't revert back to shutting yourself off after all this hard work that you've done. Okay, let's draw one more card from the Starlight deck and then I'll call it. The Sun, rise to the occasion. I'm hearing Spirit say, you are beaming like the sun. Your energy is like the bright light of the sun right now. And it's like they want me to reassure you that, yes, this is happening. This is like, don't be fearful. Don't be afraid of this change. That it's time to step out and be seen. And the sun also reminds me of like the sun card in tarot, where the sun is beaming down on you and you are naked and vulnerable. You're like your most authentic self under the joy of the sun, living in that joy and excitement. And this is where Spirit wants you to be. It wants you to be in your wholeness, in your full authenticity, in that life force energy given to you by God. And they're saying just to allow that energy and allow that love to envelop you and carry you through this. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm going to end the reading here. If this reading resonated with you at all, please let me know. I love hearing from you guys in the comments. And thank you so much to your guides and your angels for helping me with this reading today. And until I meet with you in the next reading, I'm wishing you a wonderful and blessed day. Bye.